All right, here we go. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we are ready and live on a Saturday afternoon.
We are.
Slightly afternoon. College football is kicked off.
Yes, it's football season. Homecoming's about to get going.
And this is a feedback episode for all of you guys who left us comments throughout the week to be like, hey, I had some thoughts. We're going to talk about what you thought. We're going to get to your thoughts today. We're looking forward to that. And of course, in the show notes, that's how you leave your feedback, all those different ways. Voicemails, emails, comments on our website, votes in our poll, YouTube, stuff like that. And you can also be part of the live shows that we do by going to Crowdcast and hanging out with us, just like Ani, who just came into the chat and figured out how to make the emojis brown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what we out here doing, okay? We just helping each other. The people are so helpful in the chat. It's a whole community in here. So if you enjoy the show, why not be around other people that enjoy the show live and chat back
and kick
and
it with us
and hang out. The first people we got to shout out are people that gave us money. You can give us money by going to the blackouttips.com, looking on the right hand side, hitting the donate button, and you can choose any amount. You can do it one time, doesn't matter. We give you a shout out just for doing that. So let me go ahead and pull up the donations music for people.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's Own, Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tied to the Black Guy Who Tips.
It's a new day.
That's right. New scratch. New back at you. Michael Irvin.
The Playmaker.
Waist Bees by Sura. Michael F. Mary H, Allison H, Stefan H. The H family is always rolling
H is representing, ain't it?
Okay, Corey B, Jonathan H. I guess Corey B sat in the middle of the wrong group.
Yes, you in the wrong group.
Jeff M or Joffrey M. I don't know if I'm saying it right. J4, Marvin B. Yes, Marvin B. Michael W. Early days of photography. Mako W. I see the name change. Mako. Okay, congratulations. Mako F. Chriselle B. Asia D. Michael S. David from Brooklyn, and Tom W. Jr. That's everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming through and kicking it with us and hooking us up with a little bit of something in our pockets.
You.
All right. We got one new 5-star review, so no extra commercial break today.
I'll take it. That's all we need is one.
It's from your mama to you.
Okay.
It says, in case nobody told y'all, 5 stars. I'm refreshing my last review. These niggas are the hardest working and funniest in the game. A tipper since 2010, 2011-ish, and they still my most listened to and favorite podcast. Hashtag tipper for life with the money bag emoji.
Aww,
let's go.
Thank you.
We love to see it.
We do.
Thank you for listening for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad, that's some staying power, man. It's a lot of times people don't, things change. There's a lot of people that start out with you. They go a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
You go a different direction.
Right.
People don't feel you as much as you think they should.
Agreed.
It's dope whenever one of y'all is like, man, I've been listening for 10, 15 years and I still fuck with y'all. And it's crazy because, we're 3 days away from our wedding anniversary, essentially.
Yay.
And the Blackout Tips official day, which is Tuesday. And that is the day we want to see you guys posting all your gear, posting all your merch, your cups, your drinks, whatever, your posters. If you went to one of the live shows and you got that song, we want to see it all, man. Represent the Blackout Tips. And we're very proud of what we've created. We're very proud of the community we created, and we love to show y'all off to people. And, I think a lot of times a show like ours, we're not necessarily the biggest show, so we're not constantly, getting media attention. We're not getting aggregated and all that type of stuff. But look, man, we're a self-sufficient podcast. We're a little engine that could. We've proved that
Ain't
we
we
can do
though?
this shit. We don't have a lot of big backing and all that stuff. And it's because of people like y'all. It's because of the people that take the time to sign up and become premium members of our show. So that's money we can depend on and count on whenever you guys go to our Patreon or you go to our website, theblackouttest.com/premium, and you sign up. That helps. When recurring donations, we get by because of y'all. And I think, we are incredibly proud, and this is our chance to show off like y'all to other people and be like, maybe you didn't read about our podcast on the top 100 podcasts of time or whatever.
Right.
Maybe we've never gotten into podcast Hall of Fame. Maybe we've not gonna get recognized too often in media places. That's fine.
Right.
We're fine with that because of y'all. And I really, like, I never feel unappreciated or undervalued because of y'all. And so this is our chance to celebrate y'all and what we've built together. And September the 2nd, let's do that, man. For our wedding anniversary, y'all help us.
Yes.
All right, well, let's get into the shows. The first episode was a feedback show. It's 3147. It was called The Mama Matrix. We got 7 comments. Let's see. Appia says, I absolutely know that I didn't have the worst struggle with my body. At least I know it now. I'm also healthy and my body works well, and I was always regular size and I could buy my clothes in every store. Still, there were many times when I didn't feel great about myself. The first boyfriend I had at 15 told other people after he broke up with me that he was used to dating only very skinny girls, and because I wasn't that, he didn't want to date me anymore. I imagine hearing that after you haven't been so sure about yourself anyway, it will mess with you. Of course. Like I said, I'm not trying to discount the struggle or whatever. I'm not even trying to play Oppression Olympics. I was only trying to illustrate a point about how, like, this world is so fucked up, man. And I remember Taylor Swift had a video, and in the video it showed her stepping on a scale, and she looks down at the scale and the scale says fat.
Right.
And so many, because we were in the height of like internet sensationalism and anger, and it was so weird to me because so many people got mad at her and they claimed it was like on some type of body positivity that they were mad at her about. And I completely thought they were wrong.
Me too.
At the time. And I also thought she was being extremely brave, and it was actually really dope what she was doing, because it's something that people in the body positivity space always say, which is you look at people on the outside and you make judgments and you just do not know what's going on inside of them.
Agreed.
So a person like Taylor Swift, who is obviously not fat, no one is accusing her of being fat. If part of the reason she looks how she looks and she behaves the way she behaves is because she has her own body issues, where she's looking around going, oh my God, I'm fat. I'm thinking I'm overweight. I'm all, and especially in the industry with those standards, meaning those standards are echoed back to her. That's, if she puts on 2 pounds, there's some motherfucker somewhere who was like, oh, Taylor, I don't know this dress now, like that's her life. It's stupid, but it's true. And you would think, well, you have the money, you have the fame, you're white, you're well liked, your body image should be perfect in your mind because so many people think your goals. And she was saying, no, my head is not always right. I have anxiety. Anxiety is a liar to me too. And so my point being, like, everyone's catching all of this negativity and all of this judgment that we have throughout the waves of the universe that we exist in this society. And so, yeah, of course, I don't assume anybody is completely escaped it.
No, and it's one of those things where if you live long enough, these things will impact you, and like you say, I know family members, a lot of people that are skinny because they are fucking frightened of gaining 3 pounds, but yeah. As you live,
there's so many people who look good, but if you knew what was in their head to keep them looking good, you would not want to trade brains with them.
Yeah, right, because it affects us all differently.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as you age, as you go through puberty, as you going through your cycle, all this shit impacts weight, medications, all these things impact weight. And so it's just one of these things where a lot of times the shit is beyond your control. And we put weight on ourselves, and also the world puts weight on us too. And
it's and you're talking about weight, and I'm saying that's just part of it.
Right, that's a piece of it.
Weight is like one part of it. It's one thing people can see, but it used to be funny to me listening to people on podcasts and social media and comedians and shit, and they be shitting on fat people. Meanwhile, they're a whole drug addict. They're a whole alcoholic. They're,
you know what I mean? Issues, right?
Like, okay, so you look a certain way, but when you go to the doctor, what is that doctor? So you just walking out the doctor, no notes? No, you could be focusing on yourself. You could be nicer to other people. But in your mind, you're like, at least I'm not fat. You know, it's what I hated about The Biggest Loser. The Biggest Loser to me was, the whole joke was, at least you're not as fat as these people. And meanwhile, America's becoming fatter watching this show, right? It's not like, but you can always tune in and go, it's why I'll never watch, and I don't get any enjoyment out of stuff like My 600-Pound Life or The 1,000-Pound Sisters. I don't even watch those things because the point is not for you to watch it and have empathy and understanding and whatever their struggle is and to see their journey and they try to change. The real point of that show is for you to watch it, sit on your couch eating chips and be like, well, yeah, I'm 370 pounds, but I'm not 440 pounds like these fucking losers. It's like our society, and like I said, that's just weight. So like there's a bunch of other shit people literally can't even help, you know, she brought up disability, you bring up height,
mental illness.
Yeah, so it's just very interesting to see how many people how it works on people, and it's always so crazy to me when we just get angry at people who we perceive to have better than us for feeling like they have issues with their body. When we see some Hollywood actress talk about, yeah, I just eat like water chestnuts because, you know, I put on 2 pounds and I got to go audition for a role. And we go, you bitch, you look great. What the fuck? You can eat, but I'm out here fucking skipping meals and you eat. Instead of going, Jesus, Scarlett Johansson is in her own head about not being fine. What the fuck is wrong with us? You know what I mean? That's the, you know, Serena Williams, part of the reason she took a GLP-1, one of these like weight loss medications, is because she said after she got pregnant, she was having trouble like shedding the baby weight. Even though after she was pregnant, she went on to win more tournaments. Like this was not she got pregnant and then she just was ballooned and so she's like, I was a peak athlete on this planet. I was whooping people's ass. And at the same time, worried about the fact I could not shed 20 more pounds or that I couldn't get my body to look like it looked before I had this baby. And I know that's unrealistic, but that is also the pressure that we put on women. Like, you need to snap back.
Yes. And the thing is, every woman's body is completely different.
Right.
And it's insulting to look at a woman and say, carry a baby or babies for 9 months, however long, have a C-section, push it out vaginally, and the second it leaves your body, I want you to look like you did before. You know, and you're not even talking about people getting depressed afterwards. You're not even talking about breastfeeding and all, not trying to find all this other shit that goes along with your body going through this particular process.
So I don't assume anyone's getting out unscathed. But yeah, of course, there are varying degrees to this. You know, there's varying degrees to this. There's all kinds of intersections and privileges within even weight and weight loss. And like, there's people that weigh a certain way, but their body has the right proportion. So we're like, I don't give a fuck if she 400 pounds, you know, because they got like the flat tummy gene or whatever. It's like, well, they got the 8 ball, the hourglass, whatever. So it's just a bunch of shit. It's all made up and fucked up, and it's all keeping us from being healthy and happy.
Yes.
If whatever's happy for you is the happiness for you, whatever you decide, like whatever you and your goals of health is, that's what matters, you know? And the thing is, you can change things, you can accept things, you can whatever, but mostly it's for your mental, like whatever you decide. But yeah, Apia, I wasn't, you know, and I obviously I mean, you've written about this stuff before, so I know you've dealt with body issues, but it's just crazy that it can be so bad for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Rona Raphael says, to my fellow Blackout Tips fam and the whole Fanny Willis should have stepped down. That is a weird blame game to be bringing up in August 2025. Where's the blame for the freaking GOP that needed 10 senators to join 50 Democrats during the second impeachment trial and end Trump's political career once and for all? Just 10. We all got heat for the attorney generals and the mayors, especially the black women, but the GOP keeps getting away with havoc and literal elephant in the room. Come on, people. Tell me what magical solution that Miss Willis would have used that Trump would have easily allowed himself to be tried quickly facing jail in Georgia. Yeah, that's my problem with the whole like Monday morning quarterbacking of Fanny Willis is because I think it worked on the people who should not be accepting these reasonings as acceptable. Meaning, I don't care if Fanny Willis fucked that nigga.
I don't either.
And I don't think it was relevant or had any bearing on the case.
It didn't.
And I'm not going to retroactively blame her because she could not see that coming, because when I tell you, I had 0 people that ever even brought that up as a potential possible thing that could happen. 0. And I think it works in Trump's favor to go, yep, you should have seen that, you dummy. That's why he won, is because you fucked up. As opposed to being like, what the fuck does this have to do with if he was trying to steal votes in Georgia?
Right.
That's what I'm focused on, and I'm gonna only be focused on that.
Yes, sir.
Unless you would have pulled up some actual malfeasance, some shit Fanny did that where I'm like, oh, okay, that was a legal maneuver and she fucked up. I just can't. And I feel like we do this every time Trump gets away with some shit. We just end up being like, and the Democrat or the person that was trying, and it's like I said, I went through it last week. I won't go through it all, but if you go through all those cases, he's convicted in some of those and it still didn't stop him.
Nope.
So you can get upset with however it went down in your magic world, but the problem is in your magic world, you believe there was a way that he would have been gotten. And I think in my world, the one we're living in, I don't believe he can be gotten. I don't think it's going to happen through legal apparatuses in our country. I don't think our country was even designed to hold people who can be president accountable for shit like this. I think there was a time where decency would have reigned and it would have worked. If he would have tried this shit in the 60s or the 70s,
that'd have been like, nope.
Then even in times that were worse racially, people would have been like, I'm a Republican and I cannot let this man try to overthrow the government.
Right.
We have fast forwarded to now to where Republicans are like, I'm just gonna keep letting them not be accountable.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what you do in this world, because I think the people that could hold them accountable are the voters, and I feel like we keep doing a lot to avoid that conversation.
Agreed.
Which is the only conversation I want to have now.
Yes. Anything else? Don't waste my time.
I'm not interested in the minutia of any of this anymore. There's one conversation in the world that we are not having. It's the only one that matters. And if anyone can convince me that it's beyond that, then I haven't seen the argument yet. But we are living in a country where about at least half, I would say probably closer to 2/3 of the people either don't give a fuck or they want the shit that Trump does. That part to me is the untenable part. I don't want to be in this country with these people and then just give them a pass and go, yeah, it's because the messaging wasn't right. Oh, it's because Fanny Willis fucked that nigga. I don't think it is. I truly don't. I think there's so many things. Like, if anything, people should have been looking at them trials going, it seems like he's going to get away with this. We need to vote extra hard and make sure he cannot be president.
Yes!
But they just went backwards and was like, well, why didn't the laws get him? Anyway, I recall folks saying Garland was too slow, but now Willis would have been fast enough if she resigned, and the Republican governor who is now locked in with Trump would be ignoring the whole scenario. Right? Yeah, there was no way that was gonna work. I don't think. I think in an alternate universe, she doesn't have that dude on there, and he's still not found guilty in time, or
I can see that happening.
Or he's found guilty but not sentenced, or he's found guilty and wins president. I don't think it matters. We really be shooting on our own in the name of one perfection. I want efficient and effective in my leadership. I don't care for perfection because it doesn't exist. Thank you, Ryan Cameron. Great show as always. Yeah,
Agreed.
and I don't mean it in a way like you can't criticize it. Do whatever. Just I'm not on that. Like, you can do whatever. Don't think me going, I think that's a waste of time. If you think it's fruitful, I don't, what you eat don't make me shit. I don't be like, that's your conversation. Go have it. You think that's working? How long have we been doing that same conversation?
That same
Go
conversation.
do it, and hopefully this time it works. But for me, I don't think this is an issue of I don't think this is a very complicated issue. I think it's a very simple issue.
It's not, and I think for a lot of people, they do these things to as excuses, because truth be told, most people want to live in a logical, rational world, and so they use these excuses and all these things to make, quote unquote, make it make sense, and quote unquote not hold people accountable, because that's the only way that they can kind of function. And I'm like, I don't care about any of that bullshit. I want results. That's the only thing that really matters to me, y'all, is results. And results means you have to have numbers, and results mean people have to take their ass to the polls, and results means they have to vote people out. I want results. I don't care about how it looks. I don't care about how it appears. I actually don't care about how you feel. I want results, because Republicans, they get results, and that's all that matters. Trump can smack them in the face with his dick, and they'll be like, yes sir, whatever you want, we're gonna get this bullshit done.
Yeah, movies, video games, and comic books promise you that the good guys will win because they are good. But life is not that way.
No, it's not.
You win because you fight. You win because you fight the hardest. You win because you're not going to give up, because you have resolve. You win because that you outnumber the other people. That's how you win. You don't win. You don't win just based off of, but we're right. It doesn't matter if there's, there's so many lessons in history we should have learned, but none of us pays attention to it, and they're erasing it. Mary says, just wanted to chime in on Gavin. I hope the way many Californians view Gavin is something that can be replicated in the rest of the country. We have learned to accept our imperfect, at times problematic governor. Whoever wins the primary will be disappointed on some issues, and the Democrats will have to be okay with that. Yeah, that's the main lesson. That's it. That's it, Mary. I don't think it's deeper than that. Like, people keep it's not their fault. They have PTSD. But like, even when I'm on Karen Hunter's show, it's like there's this presentation of like Gavin Newsom, like, hey, did you see this thing he did? How are we feeling about it? And it's not that it's to me, I'm past it. It's not that I'm over it. It's I'm past it. He's joining up. He's catching up to me. I'm not catching up to him. And I see this as a way of life, meaning I don't think of it as a political tactic that's like cool and we'll just be sassy for a little bit. I mean, hey, Gavin, let's just do it like this. Like, keep this up for 3 to 4 years, and I don't care if it stops polling well.
Right.
I don't care if the internet turns on you. I don't care if social media starts, chirping back or whatever the fuck. I don't like, and I hope and think, hopefully, he has that in him, because he is a straight white man of a certain level of arrogance. And I've always felt like what would be helpful for Democrats is having white dudes who are supercharged in that way. Not because I think they need to be white dudes, but because they just somehow, the society lets them get away with shit that they don't let anyone else get away with. Joe Biden, it's gonna sound like I'm shitting on Joe Biden, and I'm not. But let's go ahead and go there for a second. Joe Biden was everybody's worst nightmare as a candidate in 2020. Right? He was a multiple time loser of trying to be president.
He was
old. He was white. He was straight. He had been around so long that he was essentially moderate, because he went through a time where moderate was what you should be.
Right.
Because the Republicans weren't as batshit crazy as they are now, and Democrats weren't as progressive as they are now, right? Before social media and shit. So he went through time where Democrats needed to be tough on crime. He also went through Black Lives Matter, and where Democrats are like, hey, what are we doing with these cops? Right? He was not sharp because he's never been sharp. He's never been a great orator. He's never been quick off the cuff. He was everything they said no. And then every type of person was on the ballot against him. Your gay person, your black person, your woman.
I
your
will forever bring that up.
Yeah. So he was a lot of people's last choice. But you know what helped him win? He was a straight white dude.
Right.
And at the end of the day, white people, even though they don't got a racist bone in their body,
come on,
it is what it is. At the end of the day, there's a type of white person who's like, I'll vote Democrat if it's a white man. It's subconscious. They don't recognize it. They don't even understand. They don't know enough. They don't read enough to know any of this shit I'm talking about racially. They probably looking at me like, Rod's going too far. If he is he even, I'm not sure he knows what he's talking about. That's the confidence of being a white person that doesn't really deal with white supremacy as an obstacle.
Right.
They don't have to navigate it, so they don't need to know anything about it. They just think we should just try to be good people. Bernie would have saved us all, that kind of shit. It's like, yeah, of course you think that. Well, that's your life experience. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But my point being, there's a leeway that this straight white man gets, and white people aren't the only ones that give it to him. There's black people that give it to him. There's Indian people. Everyone kind of has this level of like, hey, straight white man, it's gonna be all right. He'll figure it out. We'll get through it. He fucked up, but I mean, come on. He's a straight white man. What could he know? Like this is a little bounce, a little curve. So having one like that, like Gavin Newsom, who's aggressive and won't get as much nitpicking about his tone.
Right.
Who will
about
probably
his body language.
When the Democratic people that Democrats pay to do all this like polling and focus group testing, when they come to him and they say, yeah, so it's not really playing well with a certain type of person who thinks you are being too nasty to Republicans and that's making them not want to vote for you, and we really need to get those votes. So if you could just maybe stop concentrating on being a jerk to Trump and talk more about policy, I hope and think he's the kind of guy that'll go, no.
Because that's going to come.
Because he gets to say no, because he got a lot of privilege. He know it's going to be all right either way for him.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think a lot of, Hillary, Kamala, there's like a level like, okay, I guess I should listen to y'all. Y'all the one talking to the white folks. So they think I'm shrill. Okay. All right. They also so deplorable, didn't play well. We need to worry about that, as opposed to turn that shit up, which is what people say to Gavin. And when they tell him turn it down, he seemed to have the arrogance to go, I'm going to turn it up anyway. Fuck y'all. I hope he can keep that up, is all I'm saying. Because he was just recently on some other shit of like, let's all work with the conservatives and do podcasts and have conversations. I will always have one eyebrow up, because that's such a bad instinct and such bad advice that I'm like, I just need you to go 3 more years. If we have another election, I just need you to go 3 more years of without that popping up again. Because this shit is my jam. This other shit let's talk to Steve Bannon it's 100% not my jam. And I don't know that even a straight white dude gets that much rope in this new paradigm where we're so divided. I don't think even he's going to get that much rope where he could keep that tactic and this one at the same time. I think it'll make people just feel like he's a big ass phony fake motherfucker. But if he can keep this nastiness up for 3 to 4 years, then I think he'll be fine. Although California is known as a blue sanctuary state, and despite living in LA, I'm just a 20-minute drive from the district where Republican representative voted to negate the 2020 election results. There are plenty of red pockets in this big state, but somehow Gavin has managed to win. I'm attaching a link for a reel explaining Gavin Newsom to non-California. Not sure if it's too long. I'm good. And once again, not trying to be a dick. I really don't care. We're a long way out. He the one that got to keep this up. So, maybe if we're in 2027, 2028, and if we're in 2027 and he's still the front runner, and then I'll be more interested in like, let's get his background story. But right now we're so far out, so much could go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So much could go wrong that I just don't. I'm more invested in the day to day than I am in the long like view of, can we go 4 years of supporting Gavin Newsom via the internet and carry him all the way to the finish line? I don't know if we can or not. And honestly, it ain't my job. Y'all niggas got to do that. Hustle with No Flow says, listen to your comments on the state of politics and on Drake's crash out brought two things to mind. Number one, the GOP survey after the Obama win. And two, has any crew flamed out as hard as Young Money? Number one, the GOP, I sometimes forget they had a survey that told them they needed to reach out to minorities. Yeah, it was after they lost to Obama. And they had this outreach to, we need to send our conservative message to people that aren't just straight white people and Christians. And
they was never gonna do that.
And if I remember at the time, they put Michael Steele in charge. So they had a black guy over the GOP, the RNC or whatever. And yeah, that did not last long.
No, it did not.
Rejected
they drummed him out.
They rejected that, and they rejected him within like 2 years or something. And I want to say there were a lot of metrics he was successful by, but in the metric that they care about, which was, you know, being racist, he could never win because he's a black person who is trying not to be racist. Like, I'm not saying
right,
his party isn't racist, but his thing was like, let's not lead with that. Let's not act like that. Let's just be conservative in our values and just drop all this racial animosity shit. And they were like, that's the fucking seasoning, bitch. That's what we want.
That's what we vote on.
This don't taste good.
Yeah, and truth be told, if they stopped that racism shit, there'd be a lot of black Christians that would be right on over there with them, but they stopped at the racism and they were like, not my black ass.
Right. So yeah, Michael Steele ended, and it's funny, Michael Steele ended up being basically ostracized from the party, and now he's like a conservative dude that also hates Trump and a lot of conservative values. Which I like him being spicy like that, but it's kind of, it's kind of wild that he couldn't see that coming the whole time, because I did.
He did not see that coming.
Yeah. So yeah, they said and they made a bet that suppression and overall unwillingness of progressives to maintain any sort of fight would be enough, and dang, they pulled it off. Progressives are so full of it. If they held the line, maybe GOP would have actually taken that survey to heart and came back towards the center. Yeah, but you can always depend on the left to stay divided and
fight
quitting
amongst themselves, right?
Regarding Young Money between Drake and Nicki, I don't know if it's drugs or what, but they really have gone down bad. Wayne too, none of them were my faves, but still sad to see them fall off so hard. Yeah, man, they gotta write a book about what the fuck happened to Young Money, because that was crazy.
Somebody gonna give us a documentary in a few years. Like, and I don't want no cheap. I want a real in-depth documentary about this.
And Drake was holding on for a minute, man, but it just like this last year and some change has just been super
terrible.
Miss Barnes says, I'm so glad that the commenter brought up something I've wondered for the longest. I was wondering when you would have Karen Hunter and Bomani on the show. I was like, maybe Rod and the other Karen will have them on at some point. LOL. Yeah, I'll be trying, man. Just,
they be busy.
Yeah, like, I hear y'all. Sailor Agnes says, I have a book to recommend. It's called The Chaos Machine. I know you're currently reading one on social media, Digital Madness, which I added to my queue. Since you talked about it on the pregame, Rod, but I figured it would add greatly to it. It's written by New York Times reporter Max Fisher. It chronicles Gamergate, social media impact internationally. The Myanmar shit will cause your jaw to drop. Trump's first term book was written before 2024. Peter Thiel, Facebook, Reddit, and more. As I was buying up black books one day at Barnes & Nobles, it literally piqued my interest, since I'm doing the damnedest to wring myself of it, because it's been fucking with my mental health for 5 to 6 years. Just wanted to pass that along. Look forward to reading Digital Madness when the time comes. Peace. All right, I'll add it to my list. What was it? The Chaos Machine? I'll add it to my list of books I'll try to get to at some point. Appreciate you. Evie says, shout out to the commenter I had an exchange with. I think we came to an understanding. If you guys remember, she talked. They were talking about Samira, I believe is her name, or Samira.
I think, yeah, something like that.
Who was fat positive, body positive influencer. and the different techniques that maybe she's used over the years, and why EVE's not necessarily for it, but this other person was. And then I thought, a good conversation based off of that. And I also thought y'all's back and forth was very respectful, and and whatnot. I mean, I can't speak for both of y'all, but to me, that was a good exchange. That wasn't just, name calling and acting, whatever, acting in bad faith.
Right. You let social media tell it. That's how you always supposed to act. You be like, y'all wouldn't talk to people like this face to face.
I think we came to an understanding that speaks volumes about the quality of listeners of the show. It's a good quality of listeners because it's a quality podcast. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what it'd be funny if the person wrote back in like, nah, it's on site. Fuck you. I don't care what you say.
Oh no, I hope not. Sweetie.
I'm crazy. YouTube, Dark Namber says, fun feedback show. Thanks, 5 stars. Provocative AF says, good everything, folks. Thanks for the awesome feedback show. I enjoy you and Karen's perspective on Kamala, and your endorsement should be coming soon from Arby's. The dynamic duo did it again. Thanks again for giving us an honest community as space to not only laugh, but to get great perspective of different subject matters that are honest and easy to comprehend. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
David says, my comment was blocked from your show. I don't know how. I don't know what you said. It must have auto blocked it, because why would this comment not be blocked?
Right.
I went
Something
to check.
Weird.
I went to check the folder to see if there were comments that needed moderation. I couldn't find any. So David, I don't know what happened. Maybe there's, I don't know. Maybe you said some wild shit and YouTube decided it couldn't be.
Because sometimes it decides on its own without us.
I'm guessing. I don't know. I actually do not know how it works on YouTube with the comment moderation. I don't know. Damien says, great show as always. I think what contributed to the appearance of Trump being untouchable is the dummies putting him back in the office. Yeah, definitely. 100%.
That follows on the voters.
I'd say that's the main gist of everything.
And if you can't accept that reality, what are we talking about?
Yes. And the poll was, have you read a book this year? And yes, we're counting audiobooks. I know everyone always likes to go back and forth over that question just to feel weird, but yes, it counts.
Yes. I think actually, I think audiobooks count too. And yes,
of course,
over the past year, I have read books, because to me, I treat audio books like podcasts in my mind. And particularly like a lot of comedians, a lot of actors and actresses, right. I actually prefer their audiobook versus their book, because some people I actually want to hear, particularly if there's somebody's really funny, I actually want to hear their word, like hear it in their tone. To me, that makes a big difference in reading the words.
All right, so let's take a break here. But yeah, that was I've read one too, and the poll results were 84% yes, 16% no. Which is interesting, because we're reading less books. We read and scroll more, but we're less literate when it comes to long form reading than we've been in ever. And so it's cool to know our audience is still, getting in there with that long form every once in a while.
And I've been reading a bunch of comic books too, and I think those count also.
As well. Absolutely. All right, so we'll come right back after this break. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. This is just a commercial break. Relax, sit back, enjoy. This is just a commercial break. Not get the break. This is just a commercial. This is just a commercial break. All right, episode 3148. Shout out to Issa Balu. That's a nice jam. Where have the fiscal conservatives gone? We got 3 comments. Apia says, this one guest array shocked me. That guy was using the hits white racists love to use, right?
Right. That's why sometimes I don't even be mad. I be like, well, I guess my racism radar was off today.
He was killing it. He was a
trifecta.
Go back to your country. I was like, oh, okay.
Right. Do me all off.
Shoe Booty says, Rod is solidifying his status as Unc by drinking an old fashioned. I just came across a recipe for a cherry cola old fashioned that uses fresh cherries and a homemade syrup. I'm about to become a home mixologist with this. Another recipe I found while scrolling TikTok, and then there's a link to TikTok, but I'm not clicking on that.
Roderick tried an old fashioned the other day that had tequila in it, and it was actually good because it wasn't as heavy.
They're all good. EVE says, I still don't understand what people have against Shadur Sanders. I don't follow sports like that, but he keeps coming up on my timeline. What did that kid do? There are literal rapists and abusers in the NFL whom people look the other way for. Is because he has a famous father. I thought they liked Dion. It's extremely complicated, but I will tell you this, EVE. Your algorithm is showing you what it thinks will piss you off. So your algorithm is showing you all the people who are angry that there are people who don't like Shadur Sanders. I don't know how many people there are who truly are like, I don't like Shadur Sanders and I'm rooting against him.
Right.
I personally do not think it is that many people.
Mm-mm.
It's not that many people in the media. It's not that many people on social media, especially when you reduce the idea of just these bots and these people who are just constantly scrolling with trying to make money off of y'all getting upset on social media. It's not that none of these people exist. I just do not think the numbers jive with the amount of time spent online arguing about it. Very similar to Caitlin Clark, in my opinion. Right. There are people in real life that are racist pieces of shit that go to WNBA games to root just for Caitlin Clark and because they hate black people that much. I'm sure there's some of them. I don't think it's nearly what it looks like on social media, where like everybody that likes Caitlin Clark is just a fucking clan hood in the closet racist. I'm sure there's a lot of people like me who just like ball and was like, oh, cool. Here's an anomaly of a type of style of play that we don't get to see in the WNBA. Let's see what she can do, you know? And people like me, I assume, are not rooting against Paige Beckers or rooting against Angel Reese or whatever that bullshit is. We're just like, I like fun WNBA basketball. When I can catch it, I'm not even thinking about some racism. That's the last thing on my mind. That being said, Shadur is such a what do you call that? It's like a test of biases, I think, because you can find something to be upset about if you look at Shadur Sanders long enough. It just depends on who you are. There's the people who love college football, watch football, and they watch all the teams and all this stuff. And if I'm being fair to them, most of them the whole season told me, yeah, Shadur's not as good as people who only watch Colorado, who only root for Deion Sanders and Shadur Sanders because they like them as people and, you know, the celebrity reality show of it all. They're not as good as those people think he is. But those people aren't necessarily watching college football. They're watching Colorado and Deion Sanders in this reality show.
Right.
So, of course, they think he's the best thing since sliced bread. They couldn't name another player that got drafted, right? Some of these people. Then you had the people that are like extremely into college football, and this, you know, the people I know who work in that industry, who, if I like, and once again, to be fair, they didn't have him going like as the best prospect, but none of these motherfuckers had him going in the 5th round, and none of them had him going undrafted.
That's true.
So they can try to revise the history on it and act like, no, we all knew this wasn't crazy. No, it was crazy to watch that boy drop that far. I'm not even alleging racial conspiracies. I just know none of y'all guys had him being in the 5th round. Zero.
The way people were talking about him, you literally thought he would have been the number 1 draft pick.
Right. So now you got to do a bunch of like retrofitting of agendas to be like, what really happened? And so for a lot of people, you know, your Deion Sanders fans, they've decided that the league hates Deion Sanders now, which I don't believe. I think this is a league that loves Deion Sanders and he loves them back. And they because I'm not saying it's to impugn his character, but Deion Sanders is not controversial in a way that would be counter NFL programming.
Agreed.
Like this is not a Kaepernick thing.
Mm-mm.
This is not a man who's standing up for the people all the time and causing all these social justice causes. Like he is a huge part of NFL culture. And in the ways that he is disruptive, there are ways that they like this. He's a star. He's charismatic. He drives ratings. Like the NFL is not threatened by Deion Sanders on any level.
No,
in my opinion. If one day those same people would love to have him as a coach on some of those teams. Even if it wasn't going to go well, they'd like to have the star coach, Deion Sanders, tune in our press conference week after week. They love that bullshit. So I don't think it's about not liking Deion, but retroactively people have changed it so that we can make it either a race thing or a Deion thing, and they're like, there's a conspiracy against this boy. I think a very simple thing happened, and it's one of those hush hush things you can't really talk about because the people with this inside information can't confirm it, and the people on the outside don't want to hear it. But it sounds like because he didn't have an agent, because his father was Deion Sanders was his agent. Agents exist in that role for a reason.
Yes, they do.
Because agents are the people that find out the bad shit as well as the good shit. They don't you don't blow smoke up the agent's ass. If you're not going to draft his guy because that he has other guys in the draft and other people you do want, you got to be frank with him and be like, hey, look, so Shadur, we're not looking at picking him in the first round. These are our reasons why. And then they go back and they work on this, and hey, when you do this interview, maybe no shades inside, maybe no,
because that's
they don't want they want to know that you're gonna come in, treat this very seriously,
right? Be a professional.
Yeah, when you come in, don't ask them what y'all gonna do for me, not because that's not relevant, but because like literally Cam Ward, the number one pick in the draft, will not be asking that question because. And he is by every measure a person they expect to be better than you. And even he knows you got to kind of fit in and play the role. And I think he just happened to be at an intersection of not good enough to be that kind of arrogant. And it's not, like I said, it's not, this is why I say I can't dismiss race from it at all 100%, but he's not good enough to be the type of arrogant that it seemed like they said he was being in these interviews. But he's also not bad enough to go undrafted. Like
that's true too. Now
the other part of this is if he had zero talent, if they really thought this motherfucker couldn't play, he wouldn't have got drafted by nobody.
Right.
Because it would have been like, he's an asshole and he's sorry. But it's clear that they were like, there's potential here, but we just don't want to deal with it on our team. And then the next team, and then the next team. And I have to remind people, I think I said it on the show already, but these are 29 white dudes that are very rich, and then a brown dude who's very rich. The racial animus is built in. These are the people that wouldn't take Kaepernick back on their team. These are the people that wouldn't hire black coaches for the longest time. These are the people being sued by Brian Flores, a black coach. Like these individuals don't even need to collude or get a phone call from the NFL office. The NFL office is the one calling them to be like, can y'all not be racist?
Right. They be like, calm down.
You're making a block hot. Stop. And they're like, make me, bitch. I make billions.
I'm rich.
I'm the one who owns the team. You're just a guy who works in the front office, Roger Goodell. You can't make me do shit. And that's basically how they treat that thing. So anyway, I think that's what you're seeing, but mostly it's an inexorbitant amount of attention given to it because it is a social media maelstrom. It is something that draws a lot of attention. And like I said in the book I'm reading, Digital Madness, these algorithms are serving us, over-serving us, gluttonously serving us to make us think about and go back and forth on these things constantly.
Oh, yeah.
And part of my rejection of that type of craziness has led me to just not even want to discuss these things on social media because I don't find it fruitful or genuine. I think there's a lot of bad faith actors. The same thing happened with Angel Reese for me. There's a lot of bad faith actors who are just getting content and clicks off of it. And it's shameful because if we can't do this with trivial things, we're never going to be able to do this with important shit. Like politics is over with. If we can't discuss Paige Beckers, then politics is over. Then we definitely can't discuss, the right to abortion on social media. But anyway, that's the Shadur thing. YouTube comments. We got 15.
We talking
3 on the website, 15 on here. Okay. Ramsey says 5 stars for the old fashioned. Since I've been reading The Best Man, Unfinished Business, I want to try a sidecar. Jordan Armstrong's fave. Oh my God, that Atlanta clip is hilarious. Thank you. Shout out to Sydney, says Miss Rose. Hashtag DMDG, hashtag dead mama and daddy gang. If you know, you know. Seems like that's pretty simple, and we know what that means. Dark Number says, I agree that Negro has lost his way. Good show, thanks. Nunya says, on the Trump loyalists, Rod was right. Don't believe any federal reports from any cabinet agency or any subordinate agencies. If you do, then you are stupid and deserve what fate comes upon you. I don't know how you can trust it now. I don't.
And it didn't have to be this way.
They're firing people from the CDC, and I just saw a report that RFK Jr. isn't even taking his meetings with the people that work at the CDC who are there just to inform the person who's over, like, here's what's happening in the world. He won't even meet with them. So, and then he's firing these people. So what information could possibly come out of the CDC now that I could believe? And the reason I was so adamant about liberal progressive people shitting on the CDC when Fauci was there was because of this scenario that I saw coming. I was like, no, this isn't the CDC is just a political organization that has no fucking
its job has always been neutral,
right? But it was important to be like, guys, just because the CDC isn't waking up every day trying to give you information to make you feel the best about your life doesn't mean that organization full of experts has no fucking value, or they just wake up and say any fucking thing. Right. You have to be careful, because that is what MAGA believes. That is what Trump believes. That is what Republicans believe. And the reason they believe it is because they believe that is what those organizations should do. Meaning, if I am in charge, fuck your expertise. If I tell people the virus ain't gonna kill nobody, y'all better go out there and say that shit. That's what the fuck y'all better, or get fired.
Even though people dropping dead.
Right. And now we are in that scenario. And I'm like, no, we're in the end game now. This is the, what do you do when you can't trust the CDC? This is that moment. It wasn't 4 years ago. It wasn't 8 years ago. It's today. Because now I'm like, what organization can you trust that is appointed Trump loyalists? Y'all tell me, which numbers y'all believe in for the next 4 years? I don't know. Nick says, or Rod and Karen, what if now's the perfect time to have a reality show to raise money for the school, of course.
Hey, I told you on Sojourner Truth and MLK Boulevard.
Y'all keep letting Umar get that check then. Christoph says, yes, sir. A good old fashioned with Angel's Envy is my favorite. Angel's Envy. Okay, that must be a type of drink.
I'm assuming a type of drink, or
sounds like a porn star from Booty Talk 43.
Brand of liquor.
Angel's Envy.
That's hilarious.
It's like, oh, you ain't seeing that in that scene with Caramel? Yeah, it's one of my favorite. Angel's Envy. Michael says, what happened to the fiscal conservatives? They never existed as actually caring about how the tax money was spent or invested for the whole country, including their own district. The term fiscal conservatives started being used heavily during the time the Heritage Foundation and other white nationalist groups were pushing and supporting Ronald Reagan to run writing all of his policies and filling out his administration. This was when they decided to not use the N-word to call us darkies, etc., and other ethnicities, other derogatory names. Remember, they were using the term welfare queens. Reagan's policies continue to get economic and resources out of our urban and rural neighborhoods. So many black farmers and farmers got no financial help, unlike white farmers. Black farmers lost their land. His CIA brought in drugs through the Iran-Contra affairs. It was just white supremacy and white nationalism cloaked in the idea of being fiscally conservative, when all they were investing less money with us. I'm 48 and originally from South Carolina. I remember how tough it was for my uncles and aunts to find work when we lived in the capital city, and they all had skills. Their best options were to continue working with my grandfather doing carpentry, plumbing, roofing, flooring, building houses, etc., or join the Army or Marines. That was it. The only ways forward. Yeah, I just like that you wrote such a long, serious answer to my obviously sarcastic question. That was the title of the episode. Where have the fiscal conservatives
like, you know what? I can answer that question for you.
I thought everything you wrote is the subtext that was implied in my question, but maybe somebody needed to hear that.
Somebody needed to hear it today.
Yeah, you didn't say anything I didn't know. I just thought everyone knew those things, and then it was implied in my, hey, what's up with them people?
Look here, Cheer, in case you don't know, we got some youngsters.
I wonder if Michael even listened to the episode. He might just saw the title and was like, I got the answer to this.
Move out the way. I got it. Pull out the keyboard.
He listened to the show later and was like, oh, that was a joke. Christoph says, as soon as you said black capitalism, I knew the Pence of Pan-Africanism was going to be mentioned. He requested $500 for a date with him. He must stay focused, brothers and sisters. It's consciousness over cookies, politics over punani, business before the bedroom, revolution over romance, of course. At 1950, when Karen said Trump not paying for anything, that reminded me of the email we got Friday about volunteering for ICE. Damn. You need volunteers for ICE now? They not paying them? That makes sense.
Mm-mm. It wouldn't surprise me if after so long people start quitting because they ain't gonna never get no paychecks because they ain't got unlimited money and only certain people gonna get paid. Everybody else gonna be volunteers.
You know how much you have to hate brown people to volunteer for ICE?
Volunteer
to get not paid at all, to be out here busting people families up and shit. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Damien says a lot of HBCUs are also Hispanic servants, so it seems it's always our turn. Yeah,
they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of HBCUs serve a lot of black and brown and underprivileged, and it's a lot of white people that get degrees from us because we're actually cheaper than the PWIs on average.
Also, just that I just want to note that even with you saying that, I still expect there to be a actual initiative against HBCUs. Mm-hmm. Like this is a trial run, but I think there will eventually be we don't want to fund HBCUs. Or in, like these universities that serve black people, whatever they call it. Jason says, yeah, we all knew that people weren't going to keep the same energy with Trump as they did with Biden. I'm glad y'all are still calling it out, though. Yeah, I'm mad, and I'm going to be mad probably for the rest of my life. And as long as people listen to the show, I'm not going to drop it. And so I understand if people don't listen to the show or they skip it or whatever the fuck. But this will always be relevant to me because, and I would listen. If Kamala would have won, there's a whole reality where I'm like, fuck, I was wrong. And I'll probably be on this show every day going, man, I really didn't think white people would support a black woman for president. And I was wrong and I have to eat crow. And then when I bring up certain topics, I'd be bringing up that too. Because I try to be honest about all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't expect me to be right. We can't be right. And then also too big to talk about it. It's coming up because it's relevant. Well, if they would have listened to us or done what they promised they would do, we wouldn't be here in this reality upset about Trump's second term. So I'm not going to take the L on that one and just take it quietly. I'm gonna be loud about this L.
Right, and it's also going to be, and for me personally, it's going to be one of them things where I had to live through anxiety like everybody else because we getting information just like everybody else and we're getting the news just like everybody else, and when things happen you can see writing on the wall. You would have proved me wrong and voted and she would have been president. I'd have been like, okay white folks, it don't mean you ain't racist, it just means Trump was that terrible that y'all was like, okay, that's what that meant. But me, I'm like, oh, I remember the first time and the second time is going to be worse, bitch. What is we doing here? Why is we fucking around? And why is we talking about everything but what we supposed to be talking about? Fuck Donald Trump. And people played in my face. People gaslit me. People act like I was crazy. People act like I was lunatic. Bitch, no. I'm going to carry this goddamn torch forever.
He goes on to say, as somebody has to, as always, Dems get judged for good things they didn't do and MAGA gets judged for the bad things they didn't do. I seriously saw people theoretically on our side giving Trump credit for not escalating the situation with Iran, the place he bombed. There's nothing we can do with these people. Every time they'll put their self-righteousness over their neighbor's Medicaid. I'm trying to give Dr. Umar a little grace. The idea about having women on his show to showcase their businesses could actually be beneficial. I would just advise them to read the fine print. They might unwittingly sign over 90% of their profits by going on that show. I mean, listen, if y'all want to give him grace, that's fine. I'm not in the business of, I don't know. I just feel like maybe because of the causes he says he's with, people just constantly trying to find a way to be like, right, this is, it's not too bad, but I
It's
feel
a
like
scam.
anybody else we would have been said this man is either inept at what he plans to do or just a grifter. But somehow we're in year 20 something of this experiment with him, and people just, I think they just like his charisma or something. They just can't let it go.
Yeah, it's something about him that pulls people in. And I understand, black people love black people support black people, but you can't do it to your detriment.
Have you been to a live comedy event this year? Yes or no? 35% yes, 65% no. My question is, I wonder how many of the 65%, I hope they, if you went to the Blackout Tips Live, I hope you counted it, because that was a live comedy event with JL.
It was.
Anyway, let's go to the next one. Episode 3149, Nashville Hot Lead. 4 comments. Ramsey D. Jenkins says 5 stars. I protest the most popular American food list. If you ask the Blackout Tips chat room, I know that tacos, pizza, fries, fried rice, baby shower meatballs, fried chicken, mac and cheese, chicken wings, ribs, burgers,
baby shower meatballs,
sloppy joes, and chicken and dumplings would be in the top 25. I don't know if that exact list, but like some of those were in there. Fried chicken was in there for sure, as well as Southern fried chicken, which was lower. But right, that makes no sense.
Right, it's all fried chicken, bitch.
I think wings was on there, but yeah, that list was wild.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing is chicken salad was not on that list.
It was not.
And I heard that the chicken salad I actually heard it's good. People are hitting me up on Twitter to be like, it's really good.
Okay.
So I would definitely go in there and try it, but it's just wild that, the idea of creating a restaurant, it's like if you create a restaurant around liver mush for me. It's like, but who's gonna eat it?
Who's gonna eat these multiple levels of liver mush? And I'm a fan of liver mush, and Roger know me.
That's my point.
But I'm like, ain't but so much you can do with this bitch.
Like liver mush is a thing you can have on your menu, but it's not the thing.
No, it's not.
There's just the same way I'd be surprised there's a tuna fish restaurant. Like, yes, people eat tuna fish. There's no restaurants where it's like, I shouldn't say no, but I can't imagine a chain of restaurants where it's like, oh, you been to Tuna Fish Carl's? Better go get you some Tuna Fish Carl's, man. It's banging down there. It's like,
it's banging, child. If it was, everybody would know about that joint.
But that's not the point. I didn't know about Chicken Salad Chick. You definitely didn't know, because was your thought that it was not good, and that how could it even be a restaurant? Turns out it's a chain. Turns out it is good according to our fans. So I'm saying, like, I don't even understand this restaurant idea. They probably went out of business not because the food was bad, but because who the fuck goes, can't wait to get out the house and get some chicken salad today. Just don't think so. Abia says, when the man is behind me on a walk, I start to feel weird. Don't want to be too suspicious, but it's still a man, so I also don't want to die. I do the thing where I go to the side of the path, turn around, and fix my shoelaces so I can see what the man is doing. He's trying to attack me, and looking at him would give him some chance to react. Give me some chance to react, and his potential surprise effect is broken. Oh, to be a woman in this world. Yeah, I think so. My favorite story on this topic, I was on a walk with my dog. The path is a 40-minute loop. At the beginning, there was a man acting strangely. He was walking on the path of 10 yards from one side to another, seemed to be waiting for something, probably his next victim. He had a cowboy hat on. I met a lady his next victim. I met a lady with a dog on the other side of the loop. I warned her about this man. She said, did he look dangerous? That's my husband. He hurt his foot and is waiting for me. He walks from one side to the other to improve his hurt foot. Oh, yes. I saw them both at the end of my walk looking at me and talking, and I pointed to them like, hey, friends, wasn't this funny? But they didn't respond. In case you were wondering, everyone in the story was white. My bias was anti-men in general. You're Germany. I assumed they were white. But
me too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it, to me, when I express those things, it's more funny because I'm like, you guys listen to the show, y'all know I'm not one of these weirdos, and you assume I'm not. You can never really know a motherfucker. Who knows what the fuck people get into, but in general, y'all know my demeanor, and y'all know that if anything, I'm the introvert that would like to be left alone.
And you're more scared than they are half the time.
Like when that lady spread up, I was like, it made me relieved too. Like I wasn't like, you're racist, bitch. Like I didn't come on here saying that mean about that lady. I was like, oh yeah, that was like, it was awkward, but like, yeah, appreciate you. I I was having anxiety about, do I pass this lady? Why is she walking so fucking slow? Like, I'm the slowest walker out here. Like, we, you
Right.
know, like speed up, do something. Then she sped up and looked back and she looked back and then sped up. But I was like, and then she jogs and I'm thinking, oh, she's gonna start jogging for, you know, the next however many laps. And she was just like jog 20 feet and was like, okay, he can't
just to make the distance.
Can't sneak up on me now.
Right. He can't touch me. That 20 feet away.
Yeah. And like I said, because it's America and I'm black and she was a white lady, I still will never know if it came from like I'm just a lady and I would have done this to anybody. Or if it's like a white man, hey buddy, come on past. You want to walk with me? Want to hold hands? I'll never know. And honestly, don't really care, but it was a thing to note. EVE says, I absolutely hate when servers don't write down orders because in my experience, they always mess something up or forgot something. I don't know if it's an ego thing on their part, but I'm more annoyed if they don't write it down and mess up as if they did versus if they did write it down and mess up, because mistakes happen, but you can minimize them by writing the order down. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I agree, and it's just one of those things. As somebody who served for many years, I wrote shit down because I know it sounds simple, but from the time you take that, particularly if you do something where you're taking multiple table orders, or even from the time you take somebody order to the time you walk to put it into the machine, if you don't have like because this is before the little handheld things, anything can happen. Somebody can bump you, somebody can say something, like it's anything that can make your mind slip where you do not remember.
And honestly, like, I don't think they always mess it up. I think a lot of times they actually do get the order right. But 100% of the time when I see them not writing my order down, it gives me anxiety that my order won't be right, which is why I don't think it's worth it. Just write it down for peace of mind for the customer as well. Because, and I know that one person wrote in, because there's always one person that disagrees with anything we say. But in general, I think that one person is a different type of person. It's like, how impressive. You didn't even write my order down and you still got it right. I think the vast majority of us is like, why aren't you writing this down?
Right.
Okay, so if it's right, I'll just be relieved, but I won't be impressed. Yeah, I'll be like, oh, thank God you didn't fuck it up.
Right. Then if it's wrong, I'm gonna be upset and I'm gonna remember you didn't write that shit down.
Yeah, you're gambling with your tail.
Like that's what happens, you know, to me, because I remember the one place me and Roger had went to, when she left, she went to the register and she started doing other shit, and I was thinking, she gonna fuck this up because you know she didn't immediately put it in. And for me, I appreciate the little tablets you hold in your hand. Pull that bitch out and start tip tapping in that, because to me that saves time, that saves trouble. Like I said, I'm the type of person, I would even prefer for you to repeat my order back to me, because you know people know this, know that, add this, extra this, to be sure you got the shit right.
Yeah, and also sometimes now maybe this is a benefit to them, but I hate it. But sometimes it'll make me not order the thing exactly how I was gonna order it. Because I'm like, this motherfucker's not writing it down. They're not going to remember that I'm like, no mayo, extra mustard. They like, just bring it how it is then, because I already know you're going to bring it. It's going to have the mayo and no mustard. And then I'm going to be like, but I didn't want it this way. Now we got to add 10 more minutes to bring it back, or whatever the fuck y'all do in the back. And it's just, and now I'm in a mood of like, oh God, my Karen's eating, my food's not ready. So now like I gotta put in an order that's just standard, because I don't think you're a genius. Like whatever.
Yeah, I now will change my order sometimes. I'm like, okay, you're not right. Okay, let me just go ahead and order something I know that this just as is, like you said.
Let's see. Nashville Hot Lead had 14 comments. Wow. All right, let's see.
He was into the hot lead apparently.
What it said on YouTube, because I think that was everybody on this. Yeah, okay. 14 comments. I wouldn't try chicken salad from anywhere outside my house. Mine is top 5, says Provocative AF. Dark Nandra says he was lucky he was in Vermont, not Texas or Florida. Probably something for guest race. I don't remember. EMK says, well, you know, these people think being homeless is a crime, so... Right.
And it's your fault that you homeless.
But also be careful with National Guard out there in DC. Like, I bet they done already fucked them homeless people up right away. That was probably the first thing they did.
Yep, and tear down the internment, and not internment camps, but homelessness camps.
Yeah,
they might, you know, to them internment and homeless camps look the same to them.
And they gonna do that shit if they go to these other cities like Chicago. They gonna fuck up them homeless people. Provocative AF says, regarding cashless bail, maybe they should use it only for misdemeanor crimes, not potential felonies. Yeah, I don't have the answers and was not even trying to provide y'all the answers. And I know a lot of municipalities already have a lot of stuff where it's like, it got to be nonviolent, it got to be this. All I know is it's people. It's not the law. The law, in theory, I think, is very fair. I think we shouldn't have cash bail from the vast majority of offenses should not be cash bail offenses because it can fuck someone's life up so bad off of just a small mistake. But the wherewithal of the populace, of the society, of the citizens of the city,
because we're very punitive.
That's where these things fall apart, is because we as people have not been trained and we don't actually have a lot of respect for empathy and understanding. A lot of us are mean, jealous, petty people who are like, I follow the law. You better not break the law. Then you deserve to be in jail. You should be punished.
Do until one of their family members, then they want to plead mercy.
Whatever. I'm just saying there's a general disdain that we tend to carry with us as rule followers.
Yep, as rule followers.
That needs to kind of be softened a bit for people to not do shit like fire basically vote for the next district attorney to be hard on crime because a couple of right-wing leaning stories, because they're going to happen. They're not going to be fake. They're going to happen because we're humans. Some of these stories are going to be the sensationalistic right-wing, candy. It's going to be this guy jumped 17 turnstiles, but your local DA kept letting him out. And then he fucking beat a puppy to death. And it's the DA's fault because they just kept letting him out for jumping turnstiles. Now, does that technically make a lot of sense? Should that overhaul all the ways we feel about cashless bail? It shouldn't. No. But there's a emotional narrative that people respond to where it's like, yeah, we got to stop cashless bail. We got to be tougher on crime. And that's the part where this falls apart. So that's what I was thinking about. Because they already have a lot of this stuff in place where, like, if it's a violent felony, there is no cashless bail for that.
Right.
But still, Alicia says, a white woman of color, do love chicken salad sandwiches like for lunch though. And we had that place in Georgia. I tried it. It wasn't nasty, but not good enough for me to go back, man. And yes, like another commenter said, the Dixie Chick decor did not help. So wait, it's got Dixie stuff in there?
Oh, I don't know.
See, I never been in one. And the only one I really paid attention to is the one that just closed. So I guess I had to try this at another location.
I'm pretty sure they're big enough. Pretty sure you got more than one.
Shane says comedian Mel Mitchell just did a video about how good chicken salad chick was. Her friend was skeptical. She finally tried it and damn, she said it was good. I personally won't go there because looking at that menu, they do have Confederate Dixie style chicken salad and it's a no for me. What the fuck is what?
I'm confused now.
What is even Dixie style chicken salad?
Are them and Cracker Barrel cousins? What's happening in here?
Chicken salad chicks, Dixie chicks, top secret recipe. So I guess on Reddit they telling you how to make it. I guess so you can make it at home and not support them or something. But wow, that's crazy. And now I'm looking YouTube, Dixie chicken salad. So there's also it's not chicken salad. It's a salad with chicken on it, but they call it Dixie chicken. What makes it Dixie? Is it extra racism in it?
Right. Let's sprinkle some more racism on it.
You call the chicken the N-word before you slaughter it? Why is it Dixie?
Let's salt and pepper this to taste some white supremacy.
Right. Whoa. How to make Dixie chicken salad. So I guess on TikTok, someone went and did like a tutorial on how to make it. I'm gonna watch this just because I need to know what the fuck goes in it. It's like, okay, first of all, you put salt, no pepper. We all know why no pepper, because we don't mix the salt and the pepper on this chicken. It's Dixie.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Cunningham house. So I am excited to try this recipe that I found. It is a copycat recipe of chicken salad chicks Dixie chicken salad. So the Dixie chicken at Chicken Salad Chick is my all-time favorite. I love it on croissants, and I'm going to see if I can make it at home to help me save a little money out there. So this is what we're going to need. We're going to need 2 cups of rotisserie chicken, or it said 1 pound of other chicken. So if you want to do your own chicken and shred it, go for it. I'm going to use rotisserie. We're going to need celery. Justin is not a big celery fan, so I have a little bit over a quarter cup of diced celery. We're going to need a half a cup of finely diced onions.
I don't see what makes this
salad.
Dixie.
Me either.
I'm looking at the ingredients and these just look like chicken salad.
A teaspoon of garlic powder.
Right, regular ass chicken salad.
Yeah. Now I don't see any pepper yet, so maybe that's really the secret. They like nothing black in salad. All right. Well, I'm not gonna. Anyway, thanks for the warning, guys. I that would have definitely thrown me off. Anytime I see Dixie anything on a restaurant menu, I'm like, I'm not allowed.
Should I came through the back door? What is this?
Right. Is it okay that I sit down or what?
Right. Should I have stayed outside?
Chicken salad is what happens to leftover chicken. So when they getting leftover, where they getting the leftover chicken from? Are they making chicken not to eat, making chicken salad the next day? No wonder it went out. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, what is it's just leftover Bojangles chicken.
Bojangles is near there now.
That's where the Dixie comes from. Dark Nanda says, good show, thanks. Absurd Spoonful says chicken salad chick is delicious. Admittedly, I only tried it because of other nearby options of Subway and Sonic. To anyone who's nearby, CSC chicken salad chick didn't just close. Try the jalapeno honey. You're welcome. All right, I'm gonna try it. We have other locations here. I'm gonna try it. I won't get the Dixie. Maybe I will get the Dixie, but I'll make them feel bad. Like, I guess I'll have the Dixie chicken. Now I start humming like a Negro spiritual or something like.
Like, sir, you're holding up the line.
Change gonna come. Yes, it will.
Nobody knows.
Said I'm so.
Ezekiel had a wheel.
I was told by money to ask you about someone running up on Muggsy Bogues. Oh man. All right, I'll tell the Muggsy story for you guys. So I played basketball a lot, especially like from like 20 to like until the pandemic. I played basketball 3 to 5 times a week. I was still fat, but I was in better shape at that time. But anyway, I would play basketball, and you play basketball, you run into people all the time. David Wesley, Blue Edwards, Baron Davis, like. But Muggsy, he's like. He be in Charlotte all the time, and sometimes he'll come out and play ball, and he's older, but he can still hoop against these, our caliber and stuff.
Right.
Give us the business if you want to.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I played ball against Muggsy Bogues a couple times, and one time we were in the Y. It was the middle of the day, so it was like lunchtime. He comes in, and he starts shooting around with us, and then we're like, everybody's like, you want to run? And so we get 10 and we start running. Me and my friend Derek were on the same team. Derek is a hothead white dude. Love Derek. One of my favorite white friends ever.
For real, ain't he though?
So anyway, we go to play basketball, and Derek's a hothead, and Muggsy calls a foul, and Derek objects to the foul in a Derek way. Like, come on, that's bullshit, Muggsy. Da-da-da. And Muggsy's like, I call foul, check up. And Muggsy, if you've never seen him in person, if you just seen him on TV, I know you think, oh, he's very small, blah, blah, blah. The thing I noticed about Muggsy is that Muggsy's arms, his hands, when he just lets them down by his side, his hands literally are below his kneecaps. His arms are so fucking long. And so don't let the 5'2" fool you, because them arms got that reach. And so Derek's like, Muggsy's like, give me the ball, I call foul. And he's like, oh, what you gonna do? Blah, blah. Muggsy's like, man, give me the ball, I call, foul. Man, that's bullshit, Muggsy. And then I think Derek either like rolled the ball down the court or rolled it at Muggsy. And then Muggsy took offense to it and was like, I will knock your big goofy white ass out. Now, when he said this, if you know who Muggsy is, it's first of all the Baltimore came out this man. I went, oh,
yeah, he about that life.
This is not the adorable mascot of the Charlotte Hornets. This is the man who is 5'2" and made the NBA.
Yeah, they probably had to whip a lot of people's asses in his lifetime.
So that was the part that jumped out. But my favorite part of the story is if this was Abbott Elementary, okay, the documentary cameras would have done this move where you see Muggsy say that, but then it would zoom over in the background and focus on the fact that there were about 10 to 12 children who the class had been so enamored at seeing Muggsy Bogues play basketball, they had essentially walked in the door, and the person that was either the teacher or the chaperone or whoever, they were waiting for us to finish so the kids could talk to Muggsy. And they just watched the adorable Muggsy Bogues threaten violence on this white boy.
Out the blue, and
was
unprepared.
They mouths was wide open, dog. I had an out of body experience. I went up to Derek and I'm like, Derek, calm down. Like it's daytime basketball against Muggsy Bogues. Who even gives a fuck if we win this game? Like this,
right?
Is, like we're
this
just
is not that important.
This is just like a fun thing, you know. I want to win too, but like, motherfucker, chill out. And then he's like, I don't. And so they go back and forth a little bit because Derek's like, what you want to do? What you want to do? I'm like, dude, chill out, man. It's Muggsy. And Muggsy's like, what, you know, like, I don't give a fuck, I'll knock you out or whatever. And I go, what about these kids? And then either I can't remember if it's Derek or Muggsy, but they was basically like, fuck them kids. And I was like,
you in trouble with everybody say fuck them kids, you in trouble.
It did end up eventually de-escalating, like 90% of basketball fights do. But when we were on the sideline later, I could not let Derek live it down because I was like, yo, Muggsy was about to whoop your ass in front of those kids.
He was gonna give you the business.
And Derek's like, what? No, I was gonna whoop his ass. And I was like, okay, best case scenario, you whoop Muggsy's ass in front of a bunch of innocent kids. That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, which is the one I think was about to happen, you was gonna get your ass whooped because you didn't have respect for the fact that this 5'2" grown ass man
who probably can bench press your weight.
I don't know how strong. I don't know what his bench. I just know that man is not a stranger to fighting.
No, he's not.
And every part of that, you knock your big goofy white ass out that came out of him made me be like, yep, I believe that man can do what he just said he could do.
And I'm not going to challenge it.
And just because you my friend, I'm not going to sit up here and lie in your face. I'm not that kind of friend. I'm the friend.
And I'm just going to watch you go down and pick you up. Like, I guess we going to go down to Presbyterian, sir.
Yeah, and I 100% was not going to help you in that fight because I'm not helping jump Muggsy in front of some kids. And I'm also not getting my ass whooped second in front of a bunch of kids.
Beat up too.
But anyway, that's the story.
That's hilarious.
Provocative AF says, what up, Rod and Karen? Chicken salad is fire. I put that shit on everything. Okay.
Yeah, we got to put that on the list.
All right. And just don't forget, guys, it's Muggsy Tyrone Bogues.
Oh.
Okay.
I didn't know that was his middle name.
Muggsy a nickname. Tyrone, that man name. And the Tyrone jumped out.
Yeah, it did.
That man said, I will knock your big goofy white ass out. I said, he will. That Tyrone will do that. Maybe that's what I should have said. I should have been like, whoa, Derek, that's Tyrone. Maybe he would have took it under advisement.
Seriously.
Welcome back to the cookout, Mark Marin, says Hugh Gordon. And Cat B from DC says the problem with cash bail is that it disproportionately harms people with limited financial resources who are unable to pay. So it's not really about the crime as much as it's about punishing the poor. Khalif Brower's story should be one of the arguments for cashless bail. Cat B, I'm already on your side. You ain't even got to convince me. I'm with it. Like I said, my problem is honestly the wishy-washiness of our fellow citizens.
Right.
I don't need to be convinced. If they put it on the ballot, I will vote for cashless bail. I'm okay with it, and I understand the headaches and the problems it's gonna come with.
But I'm fine with that. Yes.
What often happens is that people present the status quo as headacheless because they're hoping that most of us won't end up in that system at some time. So most of us won't. We're not worried about the unfairness of the system. But what I see it is trading one headache for another. So I think a society where a person is only accused of a crime, maybe didn't even commit it, ends up losing everything because it's legal to throw them in jail until they have enough money, and it fucks their whole life up and all the repercussions. I think that headache is worse than, man, they got a guy who keeps jumping the turnstile, or they got a guy who kept breaking into cars. Like, it sucks. Like if you had your car broken into, it makes you mad.
You'll be fuming.
It feels like the worst thing ever, but at the same time, theoretically, I can take 2 steps back and be like, okay, the alternative is that sometimes people are going to be locked up that didn't do anything and fuck their life up, versus a couple more cars may be broken into before this guy goes to trial. And so it just sucks. There's no right good answer that makes everyone feel great. But yeah, like you said, I would like to live in a world where there's no Khalif Browder story. That to me is a better world than the one where my car got broken into, and I hate that.
Agreed.
Anyway, let's go to the poll. Male NFL cheerleaders. Yes, or hated it. 96% of our audience, yes.
I don't have a problem with it.
4% hated it. Didn't say why, of course. But they don't like it for some reason. Probably been confusing their penis. All right.
No.
Let's get to a break. All right, last episode of the week is Successful Failure, where we had Kev on stage on.
That was fun.
Yes, always great when he stops by, man. Love that dude.
Me too.
I don't know him, but I genuinely root for that dude's success. I truly feel he's one of those people where I really would be shocked if he turned out to be a bad person. I would genuinely
be like, what's happening?
Like, just like I said. Anyway, big fan of his.
Mm-hmm.
The comments. Appia says, in defense of the dental artist, nail glue is the strongest glue known to humanity. Don't check, please. Right? Now, see, you done activated Sean. Right. Actually, it is the glue that clams use to seal their shell shut.
Oh, no.
Some shit. We have repaired headphones, shoes, and curtain holders with it. It works for years already. It might still stick with the person's body while the body has decomposed otherwise. Really? What the fuck is nail glue? Like, the glue that go on people's nails is the strongest glue? Wow. That's crazy. I would have never thought that, because I'm like, how the fuck do they nails?
That's probably how they stay on.
Yeah, but I was thinking, like, how you get them off? Ever?
Oh, you dissolve them. You
have to dissolve the glue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right. Miss Barnes says, it's always a great time when Kev on stage is on. The man has really become the hardest working man in show business. I know. I could feel him, like, being sleepy during the show somewhat. Like I could feel, like, his energy being like, okay, I need to rest at some point, but I'm going to fight my body to finish this show.
Right? And then I'm going home and taking a nap.
He was already at home, probably. He's like, I'm going to just lay here on the floor. Evie says, I'm a big fan of Kev on stage and following him since early YouTube videos. So happy for all his success. Every topic you brought up in this episode was so interesting and funny. I think you covered a story on fake veneers before, and I knew it was a matter of time before the law caught up with one of these con artists. But I'm totally victim blaming if you go to someone called Teeth by Maria. Then you deserve what's coming to you.
Because most dentists go by like their name. That's like the name of the dentist's office, whatever their name is.
Yeah. I forget where it's like. It also, like, and maybe it's like hustle culture shit, Instagram stuff, and I'm just in denial. But you can't be like, it's me, the tooth boss. Like, I don't want a cool dentist.
I want my dentist to be boring as shit because they're doing their job.
You know what I want to actively think when my dentist is in my mouth? I want to think to myself, I bet this nigga didn't get no pussy. Honest to God, I want to think this man listens to Beethoven in the car or woman, whatever. I want to think they are not cool. I want to be like, this dentist was a loser. All they did was think about teeth and how if people was like, you want to come to the party?
Teeth and plaque.
We're going drinking after, and they was like, no.
The sugar destroys your teeth.
I'm gonna get into these teeth diagrams. I'm gonna do one more practice cleaning on one of these skeletons. Like
we gonna get in the tartar talk tonight.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. I want that person when they do go out with y'all be like, oh God, don't bring Barry out again, because all he want to do is talk about dentistry, and like we're out here trying to get hoes and drugs and have fun and get drunk, and all he do is
about our oral health. Get out of here, sir.
He bring up flossing one more time tonight.
Right?
I will smack the shit out of Barry. That's what I want. Want no cool ass Instagram influencer ass dentist.
Right.
What?
He tells somebody they're about to form, what is that, tonsillitis or some shit. Get out of here, sir.
Honestly, the Cracker Barrel isn't good because it's so bland. They could have updated the cracker on the barrel like they did with Aunt Jemima back in the day. Remember when they removed her headscarf or gave her a perm? They could have given the white dude a sport jacket and some J's. That I do wish I lived.
Hilarious.
I think they fucked up. And here's why I think they fucked up. Not because of the racial. I obviously don't care enough one way or the other. I don't eat there enough, and I think the breakfast I had was good, but I don't like swear by it. It's not like I go
haven't been in a while.
But anyway, my point is, I think they should have leaned into how fucking ridiculous this was. And I get it. This is why I would never be CEO. Because the second that stock dropped 20%, the jokes were over, right? It was time to be serious. But I personally would have been like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's say the logo is back, but we're gonna start making memes of the logo. So now the new logo is just the dude. We're not even gonna put the words Cracker Barrel. And then we're like, is this right? Did this make you happy? And then everybody's like, no, that's the worst version. Just make it back like it was. And then the next one, I'll just like Cracker, just the word. And then the next one, picture of a barrel, like. The next one is like a picture of a barrel that's open. Inside of it is crackers, like the actual food crackers.
That's hilarious.
I would just keep going, man, because like this is stupid,
ain't it though?
And it's sad that our real world like stock market shit, which is also kind of, it's also kind of stupid. You can make money off it, but it's also like as a concept, it's also kind of a wild concept. But anyway. But it shouldn't be this serious, and I wish they had leaned into the fact that this shit is not that serious. But they fucked up fucked up. They did the right thing, the responsible thing of being like, oh my God, none of this was the point. Please, we'll just leave it alone. Because it's not like everybody divided into right and left, but honest to God, it's not like, I don't think anyone truly had beef one way or the other with the old logo.
No, I didn't have a problem with it. And it's been that for decades.
Yeah, nobody was demanding anything. It's just kind of wild. Anyway, John Baby John says Kev's comment about the stadium access celebrities get the stadium access that celebrities get reminded me of my time as a vice president at SEC school. As a VP, part of my job was to chaperone important people at football games. This meant I had to access the parts of the stadium reserved for very rich alumni and guests. In those enclaves, the food is on another level, and the decor was both opulent and offensive in my opinion. This was also before NIL deals, and when someone tried to tell me players shouldn't get paid, I cut them off quick. I know how much money a home football game in the SEC generates, not just for universities, but for local economies too, hotels, Airbnbs, bars, and restaurants. Yeah, man, I've been on that. So yeah, I'm with you. By the way, I'm also an introvert. Obviously, I can be hospitable when necessary, but I hated that part of my job and always left after halftime. Feel you on that. Hanging out with the thing for me, hanging out with college football fans, and honestly, college sports fans. I still will say to this day, NBA fans, best fans. It's not close to me. Live events, just in general. And I'm not saying the NBA social media especially doesn't have cesspool pieces of shit on it.
Right.
But just in general, the likelihood of me sitting next to a person I would never want to be next to is so much lower at an NBA game than any of these other sports. And college basketball and football, you think would be high up there because they're very similar, except I remember going to a couple of college basketball games and I realized almost immediately me and the person that both have on the same jersey, we're not rooting for the same thing.
No, we're not.
Like I see these kids as human beings, and I think that's more important than whether the fucking team wins or not. Like I want to win.
I am like student athlete.
Yeah, but I'm like I'm not gonna disrespect a young man because to me he could be one of my family members.
Right.
You know, my cousin Anthony went to Georgia Tech and became an NBA player. Like that's not that far removed from me. The idea that someone like this exists.
Yep.
Whereas some of these people, man, they talk to him like they're fucking like. They just talk down to him, and it has a lot of racial overtones with these, you know, the sports of college football and basketball. And so I feel you, meaning like I can see how you can think to yourself logically, yeah, they should really pay these players. That's common sense. And then one of these people is like, that's the opposite of why I like this game. I like it because they don't
broke.
Get money.
I like because they broke.
And I think we
Ownership.
We can't find a way to pay them. Anyway, I'm a booster. Here's $1 million for the new weights or whatever. Like,
right.
What?
And when you hear the stories, they be all over the place. You know, you hear a lot of times the students coming out and they're being ogled by women and things like that.
Yeah.
And then the men doing it to the women and things like that. So when you hear about that stuff, it's like, oh, this is property to you. You don't really look at them as human beings.
And let's see. Oh, and then okay, so YouTube. Now a lot of these are just stage crew emoji posts. So
that makes sense.
You know, of course, stage crew gonna always show up. But we got a lot of comments on this one. 18. Here we go. But many of them are short because they're stage crew.
Mm-hmm.
Stage crew here to support says passionate for God always. Provocative AF says, what's happening, yo? I'll support Kevon when he becomes to St. Louis next month. Damn right. Dark Ninja emojis. PhD in common sense. Oh my God, the crossover episode I never knew I needed. I love when y'all don't know who we're also cool with, and so that when we have them on, it's a little treat for y'all that they're also cool. They're cool in real life with each other.
Yes,
that's the best, honestly, because there's a lot of people we don't have on the show, you know, because we try to keep it honest, and I'm like, while we had this person on the show, you know, they say a bunch of shit that we don't agree with. We say a bunch of shit they probably don't agree with.
Right.
So it's cool whenever there's people out there that are like, man, I bet they would get along. It's like, they get along.
Yay.
And you can check out all the old episodes they've been on.
Mm-hmm.
PhD in common sense. I'm sorry. Strength from within LLC. Great times. Very fluid convo. The hosts are amazing. And a bunch of stage crew emojis. Fun show and guests. Thanks. Says Dark Namja. Stage crew person here for justice. Stage crew rewatch gang says Lenny Love. Tanya says, you know, the stage crew emojis. Stage crew emojis for Marquita. What a fun podcast, says Tanya. Mrs. This might be IDB or LDB. I love when all my podcast homies in my head come together. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Reese says 3 laughing emojis, 4 stage crew emojis. The girl on the other side of the road says the reason you don't see any clips of Jennifer Hudson's show other than the tunnel is because she's so bad at interviewing. Like Jennifer Hudson talks to people like they're slow and keep asking the same question 10 times. I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it. I was just making a joke. Yeah, Jennifer, really if you need to interview me, I'll come on there. I'll even pretend to be slow. I don't care. I support you, and shout out to comment. Stage crew emojis for Joey. The trim says, I'm a hybrid of the stage crew and the Blackout Tips crew. This was everything. Heart emojis. Love that. Miss Rose says Tipper crew. Oh yeah, I guess maybe we do need a crossover name, Tipper crew. Jason says, man, Kev approached the guess the race game like 7. That man was focused. He didn't just give his answer, he showed his work. Ha, great episode.
Honestly, show your work.
Honestly, dog, I loved that. I love when we get someone who is familiar with the game or familiar with the podcast and they take guess the race serious, you know? And I get it. Like, it depending on the person, I'm not trying to make anyone be who they aren't. So if you're like when Mike Kaplan's like purple, I'm like, I get it. Mike Kaplan's such a fucking good egg. He don't even want to like joke around.
Yes, he's like,
Yeah,
he's hilarious.
Yeah, and I respect that. I'm not gonna. My goal isn't to like make people uncomfortable, but I also do love when people's like, no, I want to play the game. Now look, playing the game doesn't mean you got to do all the racial slur shit. You could just be like, black, white. Asian or whatever. But I do love when people like show the word, deduce it, tell me why. That was fun. The poll, the new Cracker Barrel logo. Love it, dislike it because it's woke, dislike it for other reasons, or I don't care one way or the other.
I don't care one way or the other.
86% of the audience agrees with you. They don't care.
It's the white people that got mad. Most people are like, it's black people that love Cracker Barrel. They're going, we don't care.
14% of the audience does dislike it for other reasons, though, which makes sense. I did see people online that were like, I'm not racist. I just think the minimalist logo shit is played out and they should have just left it like it was. But that means two other categories: love it or dislike it because it's woke. Got 0. Nobody thought that was why they didn't fuck with it.
Right.
All right, let's get into the emails. But first, a beat. No voicemails, 3 emails, and nothing in the physical mail.
Okay.
Kiana says, hey, Rod and Karen, as a DC native, I have always said that on a good day, nowhere in the world feels like DC, but on a bad day, nowhere in the world feels like DC. The tangerine tinted terrorist has definitely engaged in some nasty work since being elected. Oh, the title of this was My City Don't Feel Like Home. The day the National Guard was deployed into the city, I cried, thinking about my dad telling me about being a little boy when Dr. King was murdered. He described me the confusion and fear he felt watching tanks ride up the street past his house. He was only 8 years old at the time. Now his grandsons, 6 and 4, get to see the same thing. And this shit is all a game to these people. The newbie DC transplants who won't be here for more than 10 years, who are afraid of everything and everybody, want the increased police presence. But the OGs know this is not a good move. They are harassing the homeless and throwing their tents and belongings away. I knew it. With no housing, food, or financial resources to help folks. Right. They cut those things and then they probably gonna throw these people in jail or something.
Yep. Full ordering.
They are making our teenagers and everyone in general feel unsafe and uncomfortable. They don't want us to feel ownership of the place, and they have called home for decades. And our crime stats, which were at a 30-year low, are now being ratcheted up because they are making frivolous arrests and flooding the courts. You know what I was thinking, man? And obviously there's history and there's a bunch of reasons this can't happen. But could y'all imagine a world where you had a well-meaning president who saw a city in catastrophe or something? Like, not even, and I don't mean like this crime spree thing, but just let's say like one of our major cities is over flooded with homelessness, or it's over flooded with something. And they just send the National Guard in with no guns to be like, help this city. And helping might be cleaning up this area of the city. It might be, helping build something. Like, oh, we're building, Habitat for Humanity. We're building our national. What are you doing with your weekends for the National Guard? Yeah, we're all going to help build community centers all over the country. We're sending people to different cities that we typically shit on and say they're run down or whatever. We're going to put money and time and resource and manpower into things that will edify this city. We're cleaning up a park this week. Because I saw that some of this stuff is what they're doing. But the reason they're doing it is because there's no fucking crime. They're
right,
there.
There's nothing else to do.
They have people just there. They're not really, they're paying them on that $29 thing, $29-day thing. So they don't have to pay them like any overtime or give them any healthcare and all this shit.
What?
Yeah. Because if you keep the deployment to under 30 days, you can like keep from like something with the National Guard where you actually have to pay them.
Then they could have stayed where the fuck they were.
So now I did see some things where it was like the National Guard was cleaning up this and they were picking up that, and I was like, yeah, but you know what? That isn't I don't have a problem with the National Guard doing that.
No,
but they're not there. They're there first to intimidate and scare the citizens of DC.
Yes, they are.
Over this crime lie that is happening.
And I bet you a lot of their hours are just spent doing nothing.
Yeah. So it was kind of interesting. I was like, what if we lived in a kind Fantastic Four like world where you deployed the National Guard just to help. And I don't mean, like I said, not catastrophes. I'm not saying, like, obviously you should help send the National Guard in to whatever if there's a catastrophe, but like, just, hey man, we're just sending you to St. Louis. They got some city projects and they don't got enough people to volunteers to do it. That's what y'all doing this weekend.
I'd rather my tax money go to y'all like going around the country beautifying or collecting trash, them adopt the highway shit. Yes.
Like, God, this country. I try not to hold on to negative feelings for too long because I have a way of physically feeling when I do, but I cannot move past being pissed and hurt that this is happening because it didn't have to be this way. VP Kamala Harris literally said this man was going to turn the military loose on Americans, and some Americans and even some newspapers said she was being hyperbolic. Yeah, I saw like maybe The Hill or something, whatever. It was like a headline that was like, the latest lie Kamala Harris is saying Trump will turn the military on you. Oops. Can we get a retraction? Where's that author at? Now that is happening, none of them are copping to the fact that they enabled this man to be disgusting, violent, and feckless. It makes me sick. I live just outside DC now, and the ICE FBI has been in my community 5 times now. Quite a few of my neighbors in my community have been deported. It just sucks ass. Anyway, I love y'all. I'm happy that I can always tune in here and find a little bit of levity and humor. Yeah, I'm sorry for DC, man. Sorry you're going through that.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that. My heart goes out to the people basically in the whole DMV area, because all y'all are basically connected and impacted by all of these things happening, and also my heart goes out to a lot of the restaurants is going to close because they only going to be able to take so much of reservations getting canceled, tourism not coming in. A lot of these places are LGBTQ friendly and they're not coming around. A lot of these places, depending on where you're located at, specialize in Mexican, Latinos, all the people he quote unquote hate. Them people are gonna be like, well, I'm gonna stay my ass home, or I'm just gonna go somewhere else. So you're getting ready to see a high shortage, a increase of restaurants is going to close, and they're never coming back.
The next email is from Leslie, who says, "Fallen. Hey, hello, Rod and Karen. I heard y'all mention Fallen with Brandon Collins was when he was on, and lit up because we covered that on mine and my cousin's podcast, the Peach Pod After Dark. It's a sister podcast to the Peach Pod where we discuss Beverly Hills 90210 through the my fresh eyes and a 2025 lens. Anyway, I know y'all are busy, but I hope you'll give this a listen and share a laugh with us over this dark movie." And she put like a YouTube link. I put it in the chat for y'all to look at if you would like to in the chat. But yeah, that's cool, man. Small world, baby. And
ain't it small?
Sounds like a fun spinoff idea. Let's see, Jeff Smith. Oh shit, my bad. Jeff in Japan. I mean, well, thank God it's Smith, right? Who's gonna track you down? So anyway,
that's a very generic name.
My bad, Jeff. I'm so sorry. Jeff says, "Hi, Rod and Karen. Hiya from Osaka, Japan. Work is busy and I haven't written in a long time. I had to say thanks for all you do with this cast. You are bringing sanity to people who now made to wonder if it's them or the world that's in bad shape. You reaffirm people that they're not crazy nor stupid. Thanks. That's a big part of why we do what we do."
Yep, because all the feelings and emotions and things that y'all go through, we go through those things too. And it feels good when you can listen to somebody and everything that you see and that you feel and that it's real, you get confirmation in it that you are not alone.
And someone in the chat said that headline title I read about the Kamala's latest lie from The Hill was the paper. The author is from the Daily Caller, and he refused to admit he's wrong. So of course. But back to Jeff. I had to say, thanks for all you do. I'm proud to say that the man who pesters you with the pesky emails of layers of info is Sean is a very close friend who introduced me to you guys all these years ago. Best gift and show of consideration any friend could have given. Oh, that's nice. Is he like that in real life? Are y'all able to just have conversations, or is he constantly just like hitting you with Wikipedia entries?
I got some more.
Right.
Like, that's hilarious.
It's like, what did you get to eat at the cafeteria? Oh, I got some tater tots. Oh, do you know tater tots? They were actually called potatoes. It was invented in 1804.
Do you know
with a strange coincidence where a man smashed potatoes around a campfire and they fell into some grease.
And that's how they came up with potato flour.
Mm-hmm. Politics Till We Get Mad is a bittersweet section that is sorely necessary. Takes less and less time to get angry, right? Some days. Just
depending on what the topic is.
I could technically make it through a bunch more articles, but honestly, why? We did it. It'll be more tomorrow. It's like shoveling. It's like shoveling shit. It's just
it's never stopped.
Yeah, it's just shit is still coming. It's just never gonna. We're just shoveling. They're like some of this we have to save. But he says that it is pretty much replaced fucking with black people because it is all fucking with us. Ain't that some shit? It really is. There's some days where I'll be like, next segment, fucking with black people. And I'm like,
no. I'm fucking
Why would
with
I?
enough.
Why would I?
I'm not gonna double dip. Why?
Yeah. And because I had to switch over to a different platform to save articles, technically a lot of those old articles I still do have the links to them, but they're not saved on my computer in that way. So it's actually been a little refreshing to be like, cool, I'm not even gonna keep scrolling back to 12 months ago when they were fucking with black people 8 years ago. So fresh start. Start building another long ass list of shit I don't want to read. And with all love I send this, which is enough to make me mad this morning over here. Oh, and it's an article I'm going to cover when we do Politics Till We Get Mad at some point. So,
okay.
So we'll just do it there.
I will continue to be not ready for it.
All right, y'all. That's it. Thanks for listening to us and hanging out with us live on the Crowdcast. Always fun to see you guys comments and whatnot. And we'll be back throughout the week. I'm contemplating taking a week off here soon at some point, but I don't want to. It probably won't be this week because I do want to celebrate at least Blackout Tips Day with y'all.
Yay!
So many of y'all won't remember if we're not doing episodes to remind y'all. So I'm gonna think about that.
Okay.
But anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. And until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody.